a system that organized and they cater for developers. Like they treat developers as talent compared to experiences I've had.
Okay.
So compared to experiences I've had, like this is a company where we have developers, managers that had one-on-one meeting with us to ask us how things are going, what do we need, and so there are some freebies. Some other people might be lucky enough to get a laptop.
Wow.
We did not get, although the company I was working with did not send a laptop, but they bought professional subscriptions on different platforms.
Wow.
So which was an add-on. So it was pretty seamless. So it's just like you're working in any company, because once you start working with the company, most of the things you'll be doing in relationship will be with the company. What we'll be doing to Turing itself will be to just report if there are issues, if they are going for holiday, and Turing will be the one making the payment, obviously, because that's the contract you have majorly
with them. Oh wow.
Turing.
That's really, really awesome. I believe we've learned something serious from Mr. Biodun. Well, I still have the most important question, but that will be the last question before we bring the show to the end. Now, there's something I want to ask about, because the way you are painting this thing, I'm even scared. Okay, my first question is, Turing.com, is it only meant for developers or any other tech skill?
Actually, from my experience, it's majorly around developers, tech skills. There are other things that we have managers. I think they employ managers.
What about product design?
Product design, I think there is a category for that, but they are more prominent with like the advertised area of developers more.
Okay, they are more focused on developers. Okay, so that means this is an advantage for you. If you are a developer, stop designing website of 20,000 naira and 30,000 naira for people. I don't know if you can share some experience, or don't you design websites of all this home website where you will still do the same thing you are doing with people there, and then you will still get less pay? What can you tell people who don't even understand the value of their talent?
Actually, what you are trying to talk about currently is in two ways.
Okay.
First of all, you need to get all those small jobs to build your portfolio.
Yes.
Because when you are growing as a developer, the best way to validate your skill set is to build routines. And to build routines, when you are starting up, it has to start from people who will just trust you with whatever they have, no matter how much they have to pay.
Yes.
So once you start with that and you iterate, but what you should have at the back of your mind is you are not built for this. You are just using this to build yourself. So you are using those people to build your portfolio.
Your portfolio.
You are using them to validate your skill set. By the time you know you are a problem solver, because it is important as a software developer to be a problem solver. There are many people that are programmers. They know different, even more programming languages than I do. I used to say it loudly whenever I'm talking about software development. I know majorly PHP and JavaScript, and the database technology that I'm most conversant with is MySQL. Any other one that I need to use when the need arise, I could know how to navigate around them because I'm good at the prerequisites. But what I'm trying to say is I have areas of strength. It's not like I know Python, I know Java, I know C#, I know C++,
learning everything.
I know Ruby. It's good to learn everything, but no. The main thing
is expert in one.
Be expert, be a problem solver. Like if you are a problem solver, then no company would even want you to go, because everybody wants their problem solved.
Yes.
So it's not for you to know everything, and at the end of the day, you will not be able to deliver anything. So, but after those stages, after the stages of working with people for like the lesser pay, and you have a rough portfolio, then you can start launching for bigger opportunities. But like I said, it is very important to validate your skill set.
That's
I've had experience of people that got opportunities and were dropped. Even with Turing, I did not mention it earlier, there is 2 weeks trial period. So the 2 weeks trial period is if you did not do well, the company would end your contract immediately and the company will not pay anything. although the Turing might still pay you some stipend, like based on the time you work with, but it's a trial period because nobody wants to employ a developer that will not deliver. And this period, I must tell you, is very challenging. You are being introduced to a code base. You have to learn about the people. You have to learn about their technology. You have to learn about their business. You have to learn about their system. And you want to deliver. So most of the time, you don't join a new company and start delivering on the first day. It takes more than a week's at time. Because you want to get to know the people. You start reading the code base like you are reading book. You start going from page to page.
This is really, really serious.
So it's a rigorous system because when you are competing in this space, you are competing on the global space. Like when you are trying to get a remote work, just know that you are not competing against thousands. You are not competing against tens of thousands.
You have unlimited.
You are competing against hundreds of thousands, against millions of developers from around the globe. So your standard must be up to par. There is no two way about it. So there is no two way about what we are talking about. If you are not proficient enough in whatever you are doing, then even if you get the opportunity, you might be dropped off. And another thing that is important is you must always be willing and ready to learn. You must always be ready and ready to grow because you don't know everything. There are a lot of technologies that you would have to pick up very fast. Very, very fast. For example, I was using a Windows laptop majorly. I was very used to Windows laptop. And the first time when I even got that contract, so I had to set up a Linux environment. So I know that if I don't set this up, then obviously I'm losing this job right away. Because that's what they work with, all the technologies and everything is built around Linux or Mac OS environment. So after the first meeting, I just told them, don't worry, I'll get it set up. I have to rush online, get a lot of
upgrade your knowledge
I could get as soon as possible. Because I know, although this is something that after setting it up is not something that it's so hard. But if you don't know, you don't know.
Yes, that's it. If you don't know it, you don't know it. There's
no substitute for it. I was not familiar with it earlier. And after like the first 1 week, then I became conversant with Linux environment, and you understand what I'm trying to say. But I had to pick it up so fast because if I can't pick it up in the first 2 days, then it would be like a play.
This one.
So I'm the best developer I can be, but just a little skill set that I lack would have dropped me off. Would have taken that opportunity from me. So apart from that, another challenge I had is in the past I had not collaborated extensively on GitHub. That is another big thing that developers don't talk about. Like this time around, I have to deal with conflicting code base. I have to deal with merging a lot of stuff. I have to deal with a lot of rebase things. Like what I just do normally, like on smaller code base is push and we don't have a problem. But here we have like 5-6 developers working in the same area, and you have to integrate all your latest changes alone. So if you make a mistake, you override the changes that your other developers has done.
That's a serious
trouble. Like it's not the real development problem. These are side problems. So now the next thing you have to learn is how to merge, how to rebase, how to do a lot of things I've not been doing with GitHub before. If I don't pick it fast, it will be like a child's play. It will be like you call yourself a senior developer and you cannot do all these basic things. But the problem is just that I've not worked in...
That was a first time experience.
Yeah, I've not worked with a team as large as that where 5 people are working on the same area of the code base. Like teams I've worked with, maybe 2 people are working on the back end, one person on the front end, or another person on the front end. So even if you are working on the back end, you are working on different areas entirely that can never conflict. You understand what I'm trying to say? But here we have like a larger system in place. So I have to pick up more knowledge about GitHub so fast.
To upgrade yourself.
So to upgrade myself. So and a lot of other things. So there are a lot of architectures, patterns in software development. You might not be familiar with some of it. You have to pick things, so you must be ready to learn. You must be ready to learn and unlearn.
Wow. I believe we've learned a lot today. There's something I've picked from all what you have been saying is that if you are really going to cash out big, you need to work it out big. You need to upgrade yourself. You know, a lot of times, many of us used to hear people's story, you know, I made $5,000 of development. You'll be like, wow, this guy has cash out. But guy, he needs to explain to you, it's not coming for free. Somebody making $5,000 has worked for it, you know, he's not just sitting down. You know, sometimes people, when you tell them work from home, yes, it gives you the flexibility. I so much love that. Ever since I resigned personally from job, I've been living in peace because you just do things in your own way. But it still does not take off that professionalism while working. Because I'm very sure you work as though you are in the office, even when you are working at home.
I would like to chip in something on that.
Okay.
Because especially in this part of the world, when people hear about remote environment, they think of freedom. They think of, I have the ability to do anything I like. I can go out anytime I want. I can want anytime I want. That is a wrong mindset. Like, when you are talking about remote environment, you are talking about trust. You are talking about representing your country. Because there are basic things that people allow to get in their way. Like, you have to provide yourself the best network, you have to provide yourself the best system, and you have to provide yourself the best working environment that you can give yourself so as to produce optimally. So, and you don't have to take it as a joke. If you signed up to work 8 hours a day, you have to work 8 hours a day.
A day, wow.
Because
so sorry to cut you short. You work 8 hours a day.
8 hours a day.
In your room?
8 hours.
Wow,
So,
wow.
Because if you don't stay consistent to it, then it will show in your productivity. And the problem with remote work is you are not only speaking for yourself, you are speaking for your country. So it will not be Biodun Bamigboye, it will be a Nigerian developer. So
that's true.
I'm always conscious of that. I'm willing and ready to represent my country well with any client.
Wow.
Even if I don't have enough technical expertise to deliver what they want, they would see the seriousness, the zeal, and the mode of attack. And even most of the time, I believe most of them would calm down. They would even be willing to help you and walk you through. But not when they send you a message during work hour and you are replying even 10 minutes later. It's too much.
Wow, you need to be active.
You need to be active because this is work hour and you're expected to be working. So they send you a message and you are replying 1 hour later, 2 hours later, 3 hours later.
That's
communication is very important when you are working remotely. Like, you have to ask questions. You don't have to be afraid. And another thing I have learned, like I also learned it the hard way, you don't have to really be sorry all the time. Oh, I'm sorry, because we are used to it in Nigeria. I'm sorry.
You try to
no. Just attack it. What's the problem? What's the solution? What do you need to get done? You need to communicate effectively. If you're having problem with a particular feature, you can talk to another person in the company. You can talk to your tech lead. You don't just have to be like so afraid. Like, if you talk, you are going to be fired. You are going to be fired. So feel free. Everybody knows that it's not easy, especially when you are joining a new company. Like, the code base is always like magic. Because this is not the code base that I started from the scratch. It is not built the way you think. It is built based on standards. What the company was, different architectures. You have to be navigating from one part to the other to learn a lot of stuff. So what I'm trying to say is, like, you have to be dedicated to your promise to deliver what you want to deliver. If you are good enough and you are fast, that you can deliver features fast, good. Even if you deliver features fast, make sure you are available when you need to be available, because people take that for granted a lot. And it talks like it reduces their productivity, it reduces their level of the way the company sees them to be serious, and it affects the country as a whole. Because if a company has a negative experience about the developer from Nigeria, next time they want to employ another Nigerian, you're from Nigeria. No, the last one we employed.
That's a red flag. No, on a serious note, let's be realistic. For every Nigerian that is listening to me, please let us stop that, because we're actually blocking way for each other. Exactly. I'm into blockchain development, and I've seen a lot of people, because even nowadays a lot of us in that, we used to hide our identity because that name Nigeria go, once you just say I'm a developer, they just block you instantly. Like, a lot of people have spoiled their reputation, and that is what we need to protect. Because if you think you are doing it for yourself, you are actually blocking way for other people. People's experience will always bang back. They'll be like, I will never employ a Nigerian developer in my life. Okay, what about people that are sincere? People like you, people like me, people like any other person. So please work on that. Sincerity. Thank you very much, Mr. Biodun. Sincerity is very, very important. If you cannot deliver a job, just say it. I cannot deliver this job. It's not compulsory you say, no, I would look into it. What are you looking into? Something you cannot deliver because of money, and at the end of the day, you will still lose the job and you will still lose the money. So it is very, very important. So one more question before I go to the last thing that I said I wanted to ask is that, okay, now we know that Turing.com is mainly for developers and other related digital skills. But some people might say, I don't think I have the capacity of Turing.com. Can you suggest other platforms where people can get good and high-paying jobs as well, just like Turing.com, from your experience? I know we have a lot of them. People can Google search them, but from your experience, is it only Turing.com that you've been working, or that you work with, or that you plan to work with for life? Have you worked with other platforms and that you can recommend? And how was your experience, just briefly?
Yeah, so I would like to talk about some shortcomings on Turing.com itself.
Okay.
So in this process, because in my experience with Turing, it's not entirely negative, but it's what people should be conscious about. So the recruitment process, one, it takes time, like 3-6 months, at times 8 months to 1 year.
Are you kidding me? Recruitment?
Yes, the recruitment process.
I'm already dead. What if I was broke and I was looking for a job?
So it takes time. So you have to be patient. So, and also because Turing has millions of developers, after my first contract ended, so Turing has not been able to give me another contract.
Wow.
So I'm not blaming them for that, because they have millions of developers to serve, and they have competitors in the industry as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they've not matched me with another company yet, but that does not affect me because I'm an expert in my field. So I would throw that to the second question. So another platform where I work regularly is Upwork.
Wow.
So it's another freelancing platform. So this time is like Turing, where you are the one managing yourself. Turing is managing everything for you, but here you walk up to the client yourself, you do the interview yourself. The client, if they like you, they employ you, and Upwork is just an intermediary in terms of contracts. So Upwork is another platform. It is great, although if you are not proficient enough, there are a lot of scams on it also. That
is even where I'm going, because I personally don't like that platform. I've wasted all my credit, or what do they call it, on Upwork. I've wasted all my credits bidding for jobs. I said never in my life that is me personally. I know people are making money. So you as a person, how do you match to meet with potential client on Upwork? Can you just give a summary tip? Because I know we get a lot of things wrong actually on that platform. A lot of people don't really get jobs on that platform.
Yeah, actually you won't really get a job if you are not tenacious enough.
Okay, tenacity one. Okay.
Yes. If you are not very, very patient, and number one thing is get your profiles right. So you must set up your profile in such a way that it will be attractive. One of the most important things is the very first short description.
Okay.
You don't have to keep it too long. You just have to state what you do that is catchy enough. If you check my description, a back-end developer from Nigeria using PHP, Laravel, and Vue.js JavaScript. So I put all the keywords. If you are searching for a developer from Nigeria,
okay,
you will find me.
Keyword.
If you are finding
tenacity, okay,
a Laravel developer, you will find me. If you are looking for a PHP developer, you will find me. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I get that.
So those keywords are just there. And number two is your DP. People don't take that serious.
Your DP is your profile picture, right?
Yeah, your profile picture. You must use like a portrait shot with no noise in the background. What I mean by noise, not building, not houses, just a plain
a party
background that's that's not talking about any other thing
than like just you.
You.
We want to see you and know
a professional look.
Good.
So if you don't do all these basic things, people won't take you serious.
Wow.
Then after that comes your experience. So you must arrange your experience in such a way that you avoid unnecessary gaps and unnecessary things. Just go straight to your highest strength. So add your highest strength of experience, and Upwork also has an option to add a video introduction.
Yeah.
So a video introduction would help the client to verify your spoken English ability.
Wow. So these are tips many don't know,
so
actually.
You should try to upload that also. So once they listen to you, they say, oh, I could understand this person, and I guess this person should be able to understand me. Because that's another big challenge while working remotely. Communication. Like, someone will be speaking, I'll be like, I don't know.
Pardon?
You yourself, you'll be embarrassed. Everybody will just be like, oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Like, English is different from English.
I tell you. There's Nigerian English, there's US English, there's German English. Man.
English is
you
different
just
from
have to
English.
learn to cope.
You see all those conjunctions, all those commas that we just use anyhow. When you use it anyhow, you've said another thing entirely.
Can you imagine?
So, you must like keep your profile professional. So add your experiences, like experience that has weight. Now, the next thing is if you have the opportunity to get any job at all. Okay, and another thing before you go there, why applying for jobs? You must learn the art of storytelling. This is something that has helped me a lot, and I will use the opportunity to highlight a boss of mine that trained me on that, Emmanuel Tobiloba.
Oh wow.
He's a very great person in this aspect. Like, he taught me the art of storytelling, and I've been using it to sell myself. So I could remember my first job on Upwork. The caption started with, I know I'm not qualified for this job, but I am a very good talent that has the required skill set, and someone needs to give me a chance to prove myself on this platform. So you could read that catchy phrase.
Wow.
So after that, I wrote my other. So after that, I added my other stores. This is what I do. This is when I do, and I have links to prove that all my works are real. Most of the time, people post works that doesn't have evidence.
That does not belong to them.
So at times it belongs to them, but it's just on GitHub. And there is another thing in software development. There is these free hosting platforms, Vercel, Nestlify. Like, I want to advise you to use all those links when applying for jobs. The reason is simple. Even if it's your product, everybody knows this is a free platform. You just worked on it. This is not a real life product that is in production, that is solving a real life problem. This is practice. I don't want you to practice with my job. If you can afford to buy a domain yourself, buy it and use it to host
your projects. So they can even assume it as a live project. These are tips. These are tips. Okay.
If I go through your and I say all this Vercel, I'll be like, okay, you are just still practicing. You are not executing a real project yet.
Wow.
So you understand? So, and as developers, another thing that needs to be very strong is our GitHub profile. So our GitHub profile is a certificate of your code every time. Like, I want to see your history of coding. In the past 3 months, are you active?
Is it green or lemon green?
You understand what I'm trying to say? So people check, like, these are things, even me myself when I'm recruiting people, I check all the stuff because I've recruited for some companies before. Like, I want to know how well you do this on a regular basis. You understand what I'm trying to say? So once you keep all these checks in place, and another thing is not a major, is a minor, like your social media platforms, keep it professional also, because everything is linked together.
Wow.
Your name on one is popped on the other. So if I search your name on any other platform, what will I find about you? It goes a long way. You don't think, most people think people just employ. Nobody just employ. They do background check. Because I'm trusting you with thousands, hundreds of dollars, of nairas, millions of naira about myself, about my company. I want to be sure I'm doing the right thing. So you have to keep your profile across all platforms in sync. Not that on Upwork you're a professional, on Facebook you are just a playboy,
Oh,
professional.
profile synchronization.
So on Twitter, you are just shouting and ranting, and you are the one that just goes on. There's nothing talking about what you do. People want to know that, okay, although you have the right to post many things, but at least put a touch of all those
Let us synchronize your profile.
So
I think I need to work on that personally.
Yes, so a touch of professionalism on all platforms, so that it can be obvious that you know what you are doing. And also, when you have the opportunity to communicate, to get like interview with a client, like I said earlier, communication, you have to respond fast. You have to make sure you are available, because you are competing with thousands of other developers. If you waste time, another person would go ahead of you.
Wow.
So, and also on Upwork, another thing that people don't target is time zone differences. So like now, some countries are just waking up.
Yes.
So you should be targeting if you're applying to works from those countries. So you should check the time it was posted, how long it was. So because if someone just posted the work, they will still be active to try to check who is trying to apply on
application or not.
So it is more advisable to apply on works that are recently posted. And also to avoid scams, there are just 2-3 tips that I would add. So check the profile of the person that posted the job. So it is better if the account of that person is verified, like the card for payments. Upwork verifies the card of people that are employing others. So if it's verified, you can be sure that, okay, this person is willing to pay. It's now better if this person has worked with other people and has made some cumulative volume of payment. Upwork will show you this person has paid like 10,000 to other developers.
Wow,
Like 5,000. So if that person has that, it makes it stronger. Then you check the comments that other developers ask about that client.
That client, yeah.
So if you see any red flag
experiences
about in all these things, it's better you back off.
Thank you very much.
And the last thing I would like to talk before you
go
is you don't have to be fully qualified. So far you have the basic technical competence for the job requirements. You can always apply for both jobs, like the first job, and even after leaving Turing, I went back to Upwork. Although it took like the space of 3 months to get a job, but at least I still have something from Upwork that I'm working on. I was not fully qualified.
Wow.
But once I get into the job, because of my technical competence and my diligence at work, so both correlate together and give me a chance at the company to cover up for the areas where I was not so competent enough. And most of the time, you don't have to work on everything. Other people will still work on other aspects. So far, you have a strength. The problem is if you don't have any area of strength at all.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Bamigboye. If we should continue, I know you have a lot of things to say. Any other information should be a premium information. They should subscribe to your to your platform, and that is the last thing I'm actually going to. Mr. Bamigboye is a CEO of a renowned company in Ondo State, Nigeria. He owns a tech hub and where we have workspaces. So I'll just give you 1 minute to talk about Innovate Tech Hub for people in Ondo City, Ondo State, Nigeria. Just a minute.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah.
So Tech Hub is looking to create a 21st century standard workspace in Ondo State, Ondo City, and we've gotten that started. Our head office is at number 3, Surulere Edition. So it's a complex with a red roof, and we are on the 2nd floor. So we have space for individuals, for startups, we have conference rooms, and we have training sections.
Oh wow.
And we also plan to add gaming studio, because all work and no play.
That's really, really nice.
So you have to enjoy working. Like after working, you can also like relax yourself, play games, and so we have a lot coming up, and we develop software as a service also. Our pioneer product is called ePortanet. It's a school management system that you can use to generate results for both primary and secondary schools. And this one is already in production. We have schools that are using it even in Ondo. We are looking to scale it with time, and we are still working on that. Wow. So you can trust us with tech-related solutions. If you need a workspace in Ondo City, and if you need anything revolving around software development and technology. So this is our core area.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Biodun, for attending our show today. I believe we've learned a lot of things. I'm seeing a lot of comments here on Twitter. Okay, Upwork on Fever, Connection. Yeah, people have learned a lot actually. I can see people's comment on Twitter. So I believe we've actually transformed some people's life with this. And the link is always available on Twitter and YouTube for you to check on and to learn any day, anytime. So before I give him the opportunity to give us the last word, I would like to say this. The reason why you are broke, this is my slang and I'm going to say it again, it's not because there's no money. It's because you don't have a value to present. Now, what we just explained to you is a platform that pays people an average of $2,500 to $5,000 monthly. This is in a month. $2,500 currently is around how much in Naira? That's about 2 million Naira. Can you imagine? 2 million Naira in a month. I mean, to start with, at least if you're able to enter the basic level, that's the least you should earn. And this is something that you don't need to wake up, put on tie, put on shoe, looking for transport fare to go. I mean, you're on your bed, you do your stuff, maybe there's need for video call, you just set up a nice background, you're already on the call, and you are making your money. I mean, people should tag you as a Yahoo boy, making your legit money. You don't need to travel far and near. You don't need to travel down to US before you can make the money you need to make. So making money online is easy, provided you follow the required steps. Provided you follow the required steps. Making money online is very easy. In our coming shows, I'm still going to bring people in other areas. It's not only development, because some of you might say, no, I don't know how to develop, I don't know how to write code. Digital skills is very wide. I messaged somebody on Twitter yesterday that he should help me to make a post. Do you know what the person said? He's going to charge me $500 for making a Twitter post. Can you imagine? For making a Twitter post, he's charging me $500. So imagine he gets 3 Twitter posts per day. Do you know what that means? I mean, there is real money in this tech space. Are you the dollar? So please, what's your conclusion word for everybody watching out there, especially developers out there who does not even understand their bearing yet?
So this is what it is. You have to be very tenacious, like I said earlier. You have to be very diligent. You have to stay in the process. Software development is not a child's play. It's not like any other industry where you can assume you know it. You have to know it. Because it is a different thing to know loops, array, sets, MySQL, but it's a different thing to bring it all together to become a solution. So you have to learn to this stage where you can actually deliver a solution. At first, it doesn't have to be the best. At first, it will look very rough. In fact, the jobs I did years back, when I revisit it, I'm not proud of them. Why? Because the standard has increased enough that I see those are but they were working. So you get the gist. They were working, but because I have upgraded myself a lot, I feel, wow, so I could write this some years back and feel proud about it. But the fact is, those were the things that gave me the opportunity to write better things. If those does not validate my skill set, I won't need to work on the skill set. So don't launch why you should still be training. So give yourself the time, train as much as possible. In the training process, the best thing you can do is develop real solution. Like, don't just train and keep creating clones. I know it's good to practice with clones, but look at a real life solution Start it from the beginning to the end. Like, this is what is called software development. In mathematics, they call it word problem. I have an organization. We have an accounting system. This is how the paper looks like. Once you enter this, we want to add this up together, and at the end of the day, we want to generate a report. And you could develop a system that will do what they needed in particular. So you are translating the words of a customer into a digital solution. So that is what software development entails. Once you are able to achieve this, and you have the required level of professionalism in terms of your diligence to work, in terms of commitment, in terms of like sticking to the standards, then you are unstoppable.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Biodun. It's over an hour already, and we have really discussed a lot. I believe next time we call you, you are going to show up. All right, so we're bringing the show to an end now, and I'll also drop this as my conclusion. Making money online is easy provided you know where to plug your fuse. If you don't know where to plug your fuse, you will just be perambulating and be lamenting that there's no money. But you can actually make money if you know what to do and you are in the right community. Thank you very much. My name is Spirit Philip Omokoye, lead coach on Spent Academy. And let me reinstate this again. Spent Academy is a platform where you can learn any digital skill of your choice as low as possible. We even have some offers for learning for free. You can go ahead and contact our customer care on WhatsApp, or contact us on any of our social media handles to get started on learning any digital skills. We train people both on internship program and both from personal learning program. We have more learning programs that are coming up in Ondo, in Abuja, and also for remote places. Thank you for joining our broadcast today. Till next time when we are going to have the show, goodbye. Have a wonderful week ahead and a productive week. I hope you are going to send me some dollars. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.